Juno overall is just a character that, you know, is really, really slippery. So, you know, you can try and play for a low KD there no matter what. Where you started and ring up there, I mean, perhaps there isn't the greatest point to that, but, you know, we're not really too deep into it yet. Okay, I think here with how you're starting out, just early on, because you started on this like forward high ground, you just wind up having to like give up a decent spot early on. Like just floating around here and hovering around here is always pretty good for Juno. Up here, often you're going to see that like you're going to have players like Hanzo or a hit scan or something like that that might want to come up onto this high ground and shoot towards the enemy team spawn. And Juno wants to be like really close to these players so that then you can like follow up on some of their damage, swing with them and go for torpedoes at the same time. But you pretty rarely want to be in front of them, because when you go in front of people, then you stop seeing them and you stop being able to heal them. And it's like, it gets really awkward to play Juno if you don't have good vision of people. Looks like everyone's just playing on the ground for now, so like a long angle instead. But overall here, what you've done, as soon as you throw out the speed ring, just think like your character, you can double jump, you can work your way through like all of the space on this high ground. Where you were up here before and where you gave up, if you want to push, if you want to put your speed ring and go forward with the Rhine, you can double jump up onto this high ground and just walk through the high ground to get to the same goal. So if you have a choice between like walking through main right now and coming up onto the high ground and wrapping around, as long as somebody in main doesn't need like immediate urgent healing, I'd say it's probably better for you to, at the very least, jump from here and then jump again to float over to this next high ground or walk around. But try to avoid being on the ground. Like the first thing we've seen from the enemy team, as soon as they walk out of the spawn door, is they have like a ball and a tracer. And these are two heroes that are probably going to give you heaps of grief throughout the game if the enemy team ever works their way in. So if you start getting pressured by a ball, pressured by a tracer, the best way that you can avoid all of that is to get on a different vertical plane to them. So like get up onto the high ground and then suddenly the ball can't shoot you anymore. So it's okay to start on the ground, kind of keep them interested, bait them in, and then go up onto that high ground so that then they've taken a turn to hit you on low ground and you go off high instead. Here, you're not really like taking advantage of all Juno has to offer in terms of verticality, because like you're staying on the ground the whole time, like start to finish. And when you use your shift, you're like canceling your vertical momentum. So you can't even get up onto the high ground because of how you used your shift. You really want to get into the habit of knowing like everywhere that you can double jump to, and then recognizing like these are strong positions for me. Because for sure, like when you're pushing here, like just coming up onto the high ground, it'd be like a good default habit, and you just have like the lowest chance of getting traded out. Like the ball can't really shoot you if you go top, or at least the ball has to take a turn to hit you. Because when you're up in the fight, you definitely want to be able to like get a wave of torpedoes out. Like you've had torpedoes for a while, so this is good. Like this timing on them is good. Like it's just good like mid-fight defensive. You see the tracer up there. If a tracer's low, if you have a mercy that can heal you as well, you shouldn't be too scared to fight them a little bit. I'd say it can be a little treacherous to go face to face with a tracer and just run at them when they're full HP, because Juno very rarely wins that. But if you know that a tracer's low, 100% you can double jump up onto the high ground and like go and try to duel her and force her back that little bit more. Because just taking up here is really nice for you. Just gives you the most options possible. Like if you want to get away from someone in main, say the tracer's fighting you up here, if you want to get away, double jumping from up here gets you up onto like these rooftops. And then you can just float up here and you can use your shift and nothing can kill you up here anymore. Like you can just be completely unkillable, out of line of sight of everyone up on the high ground. Whereas if you tether yourself to down here, there's actually nothing for you to double jump to. There's nothing for you to slide up on anymore. Maybe you can like double jump up into the sky and try and float over to here, but this is a long way away. So all of this sort of space on Juno is really money for you in terms of giving you a good opportunity to escape from everyone and to cut line of sight from everyone. Again, like the way you're spacing here is good. Like you're waiting until something happens in main and then using the torpedoes, like the good like mid-fight torpedoes. So I think all of that is fine. You've got another speed ring and you have a Rhine, so if you can try and close the gap a little bit towards them, all good. But it feels like this high ground is just a little bit of a pressure point at the moment, where the enemy team keeps coming up there, and maybe someone's just going to get picked from there at some point, because what's happening at the moment, like your team's holding on, okay, but because nobody is fighting for this high ground space, the enemy team just keeps taking it and taking it. Like the Tracers come up here twice, the Kiris come up here now as well. At some point, if the enemy team is allowed to do this over and over and over again, and there's no response in terms of your team trying to push through main and go fast through here, or clear top, like have someone come up top and fight them, what'll probably wind up happening is you'll all be out here in the open, and someone's just going to get picked, you know? Like the ball's going to slam you in main and the kiri's going to hit a shot and someone's just going to die. Because it's a dangerous spot for you. This open space is okay right up until the enemy team starts taking the map, and then it starts to be a problem. And again, for you, hovering over here is okay if you want to like push through main, if you want to come and fight top. Or if you want to maybe float up onto this rooftop or something, like if you're jumping off this or jumping off the cart. But overall, someone picks you from down here, you have nowhere to fly. You have nowhere to jump to. Juno's always like, where can I jump to escape the depths of despair? How can I get out of this dodgy situation? So a soldier peeks you down here like he did before, or like, you know, a hit scan peeks you down here. That can always be really dodgy. Tracer takes top. Again, they can blink out onto you and they can follow up. If you come over and you start leaning towards the right instead, say you're healing Ryan down here. You can be standing here healing Ryan from main, healing Ryan from main. You hear that there's someone coming through this flank. You can just double jump from here to here. And you can keep healing main from this platform instead. And then when you want to fall back, you can fall back from here to here. And you can just keep giving up little space without being peekable from down here and from over here. And, you know, potentially from up here. Because up here, if they want to peek you, they have to swing out into the open. But if you tether yourself to this open space right here, there's nothing for you to hide on except for like crouching behind these things. And every hero in the game can crouch behind these things. But Juno can go anywhere vertically. So you really want to try and position to take advantage of that. That being said, I think your cooldown usage on the character is really fine. Like maybe the shift, you're not getting any value from the shift because you're not using that space. But all of the torpedoes and all of the speed rings have been like really good. Like a lot of time, I think, you know, people have issues with like finding value out of the torpedoes because they use them too early or they really want the dopamine hit damage ones. But I think like your defensive use of the torpedoes has been really good. Like every volley has been like a 5-man. So I think that side of the gameplay is fine. But positionally, there's a lot to be done. Was that for you? Like, are you using that ring to try and like help yourself get up onto the high ground or something? Or, I don't know what.
Don't ask me.
Yeah, it's alright. It's one of
I'm just as confused as you are.
That's one of life's mysteries. That's all good. These things can happen.
Right after you just said I had good cooldown usage.
That's all good. You know, I mean, now you've taken a high ground. Like to get up here. You like used, I mean, let's not worry about the ring, but like you use your shift to get up here. Like if you want to get up onto this high ground, I'm like 90% sure that you can just like double jump it up to here. Let me see your movement again.
Only one good thought process exists. Okay? Getting up to the high ground completely negates the cooldown usage.
Because like when you want to like jump up onto the high ground, I think here if you time your spaces right, I think you can just get up there even from the bottom. But like anytime there's like a little structure, like any of these ledges or the cart, like cart is always an easy one. You can make those jumps like twice as easy. I think this high ground is like a teensy bit higher than this one. So like you can just double jump like baseline up onto this. Whereas maybe this one is a little more awkward and you have to hug your face on the wall or jump off a ledge. But you always want to be able to like avoid using your shift whenever you can to do this stuff. Because now, like, you use shift, but the fight's actually happening right now. Like there's a Reaper TPing on right now. They're pushing. It's not, you know, you're still advantaged. Like, I think they have someone on respawn. But ideally, you don't want to have to use your shift just to, like, go from point A to point B when nobody's actually shooting. Because if they see that, then maybe the ball and the tracer are like, oh, get her! And they run after you. Here, ball's coming behind. I mean, you seem to just be adeptly marking them out. But again, like, another thing you can do to like outplay a ball, like you see that the ball's coming up onto the high ground. He tries to like slam you up here and he fucks it up. You want to try and like space away from people when you know that they're coming up. Like you block the ball and you fight him a little bit. That's all well and good, but it's really dangerous to do that because like if you block the ball and then they start peeking you from up here and from here, like you're getting shot in the back by like a bunch of players. So it's like you see the ball coming at you, you can just like, you know, just float on, you know, like just double jump away and float over to here, just float over to the next spot and just keep, I don't want to say keep giving space forever, but just make sure that you don't wind up in his effective range because ball's effective range is where he can slam you, right? Whereas for you, like mid-range is always good. So just try and like practice having the safe spacing yourself. That being said, you know, for all of the feedback you've received thus far, you have 0 deaths. It's not like anything has been an egregious error up until this point. It's just a case of if you have good habits positionally, then you know you're going to get into more and more difficult lobbies, and you're not going to die then. Because I'd imagine if you play like this in a lobby where like the enemy team has like a pretty sharp hit scan or something like that, then you might start to struggle a little bit more. Because yeah, like you can get killed really quickly on Juno if you do stuff like this. Like here now, like their soldier's taking top, so this is where you have to start to be like a little more safe with it. Like if you start double jumping in the air here and you're shifting up in the sky, this is how you can get picked really easily, right? Because the soldier will peek you face to face and you'll just drill you right out of the air. So it's when you're in moments like this where your base positioning is good, right? Like you're up on the high ground, you're a little bit hard to see, but you need to make sure that you're not swinging too wide into the soldier unless something's happening to him, unless he's being pressured by someone else. Because you always want to be like anchored to the corner, shooting a little, using the cover, maybe even cutting the line of sight of the soldier. Like if you go to the left, soldier can see you. If you go to the right, he can't see anything, right? So you can see your team, he can't see you. Because yeah, this high ground, now that they've made these swaps, like they're over to Sigma, they're over to some more close range stuff, it's only the Tracer. This Ray is just ridiculously cute though. I don't know, you've probably seen the Chio video from a year ago. Like it's ideal if like you have the luxury of getting your like lovely little order of operations off, where it's like the Ray comes out and then the torpedoes come out too, so that then you just get like maximum damage on your Ray turn. But here I think that the judgment to use Ray is like fairly reasonable. Like you push in, it's getting pretty dicey in main, like they're using ults, you're face to face with their Sig. So I think it's really okay. You see something like the soldier, that's fine to contest. I think really here, like, you know, the only thing that you could have done a little better is like, you know, probably just like don't pull out the torpedoes when someone's low and when you're close to them, because you can just kill them with your gun. Torpedoes are usually good if you've got like multiple targets on the screen or if there's a hard shot to be hit. But if you're like in your Ray and someone's really low and they've got cover too, using torpedoes when people have cover is like the biggest bait in the world. I find myself doing this a lot, where I always want to get the torpedoes off because it feels like I'm going to get the guaranteed damage, but it's actually like so kappa that you're going to get guaranteed damage out of the torpedoes. Because like if anyone is close to any structure, they just walk behind and they don't get hit by it anymore. Whereas if you just walk at them and shoot your gun, then they die. So I think, yeah, here maybe like there's a kill on the soldier that was there for you. And this is where like your positioning habits on the hero are killing you. Like I don't know if you're going to die here. We can wait and see if you actually do die here. But like, when you had this moment, you Ray forward, everything's happening forward, you're even fighting the soldier. This is where like you've got to be like double jumping up on it here. And then maybe when you're here, you chase and kill the soldier, or you're right above some of these backliners that are really low. And then if the turn is over, if you start to lose, they use a Kitsune rush, then that's when you can just like kind of duck over to the side here, you know, and you start healing main here, and you jump back to here, and you float over to the mega, or you float up to the high ground, depending on the situation. But for you just get stuck out in the open. Like the open space is killer for you. So here, where you wind up, I mean, I was going to say you're pretty far away from like any sort of statue that you can use for cover. I mean, you're literally next to the Vendetta statue, so I guess that doesn't quite count. But this cover is arse because, you know, it's just out in the open. I didn't even notice that was a Vendetta statue. It's fresh. It's new on the patch. It's still part of the lore. I don't know what was here before. I don't know what statue is here before, but yeah, it's like when they fucked up Numbani for Doom for 6 years ago. Like the times are changing. Alright, so you collected your first death. Maybe you wouldn't have collected that first death if you were up on like the high grounds or whatever, because Tracer wouldn't have done any damage to you. And yeah, first point's over in a flash. Overall, I think like, again, like the cooldown usage is like reasonably good. And then here, yeah, getting up into these windows is all good now. Like your position is fine. You see people low, you went for like the torpedoes here. If you see everyone purple, don't use that as a timing to pre-charge your torpedoes. Use that as a, like, use your speed ring first and foremost, you know? Like here, if you see people in trouble, E straight away, you know? Like, it's hard to make a good judgment around speed ring, especially like, what rank is this lobby? Is it like plat or something?
This is plat.
Yeah, like it's hard to make a judgment around like if people are going to push well with your ring, right? But if you see someone in trouble, they're always going to get value out of the ring just by running away. So here, like, it doesn't really take, I use the other perk now as well, like for the minor, like the faster lock on for allies. It feels really good. Like if you're in a situation like this and you speed ring people back, like 35% faster lock on is ridiculously fast. Like you get the lock really, really quick. So I think you should try that perk for sure, because it's like really, really good defense.
I have tried it a few times, but like I find that like on Juno, like I think torpedoes are like the biggest like way to like just push my agency with that. Like where I like 85 chunk damage on anybody currently open is something I'm always looking for. Like that's why my torpedoes earlier, it's like I'm waiting for at least 1 or 2 people, because then that cooldown is about a second or two, or sometimes you even hit that 5-man where you get
I think that's like the great bait with it is the problem, because a lot of torpedoes a lot of the time you'll find that the damaging torpedoes, like you will essentially spend a really long period of time hoping to get what you described there, where, you know, you want like the multi-shot of damaging torpedoes. You're waiting for like the third person to peek so you can get that extra lock on. But like when that's happening, you don't consider the opportunity cost to it. You don't consider the fact that for every you know, half a second you spend waiting for one more person to get the lock on, you're not shooting your gun. Like when you're waiting for the torpedoes to come out, you're literally standing there like completely AFK. Like you're not healing anyone, you're not damaging everyone. It's just a huge amount of time that actually winds up getting burned, hoping for that additional lock on, for that little bit more chunk damage. And then at the end of the day, unless you're in like an orbital ray turn, those torpedoes probably don't get kills over and over and over again. But when you have like the healing version of this perk, it doesn't allow you to get more offensive value with them, but it allows you to spend way less time in the lock-on. Like what I find is like when fights get really hectic and I have like the 35% perk, you can use the torpedoes to like triage multiple people really efficiently in the middle of the fight because the lock-on happens like that, you know, like it is so quick. And that is really valuable for Juno when the fights are like really hectic. Whereas I find that the offensive value from the torpedoes, it's like you're going to get 1-2 volleys of torpedoes in the middle of the fight. Like your timing on them, like your usage of them is really fine as it is. But I don't think that you're going to get like this, you know, cinematic moment where you're just killing everyone with the torpedoes by getting that cooldown reduction. And it baits you into bad habits by taking this perk, because if you take the perk that like means you need to get offensive value, it baits you into sitting there and waiting for that additional second. You will literally burn a second to get a second back on the refund. But that second burned could have been spent shooting your pistol at people, you know, dealing damage with the pistol or healing people with the pistol. So I think that perk is like major bait. I took it initially as well because I thought, surely this is better, right? Like offensive value. But then once I started to play around a little bit with the faster healing lock on one, like think about the balance of what you've been using your torpedoes for up until this point. Like when I was saying that your cooldown usage is good, like 90% of the volleys of torpedoes you did were like all defensive, you know? You're just in the mid fight and it was like your 5-man healing your team or your 4-man healing your team. You can't torpedo yourself. And if that's the case, just do that 35% faster. It massively improves your uptime. It allows you to do so much more and you don't get stuck trying to heal multiple people. And when people are low, it can be really good for that as well. Because like you've got 3 players that are low, that will make the difference between 2 people just like randomly falling over and everyone being okay. I've gotten a little sidetracked about the perk. I need to watch this back. So here you have a nice little advantage here. When you want to swing, when you want to go for the torpedoes, make sure you're not shifting low to the ground. You've done this a couple of times now where you're like jumping and then you're using your shift really low to the ground. You need to space out your double jumps better. I'll show you in the practice range after this, but like you need to not just like spam your jump and then spam your shift all at the same time. Because look how low off the ground you are, you know, like you're basically jumping as high as a normal character can. Your hero can go all the way up to here and then shift at the top and go higher still, you know? Like you just need to go for like as much height as you possibly can before using the shift. Because when you do that and you go for the swing, you get like a way better angle above everything to hit your torpedoes if you want to get an aggressive one. So here you kind of just like strafing up through main, whole team's inside so you can come in with them. A little bit awkward, a little bit lost. There's somebody up on the high ground above you, but you do have a Rhine shield, so it should be fine.
Chaser snapped my ankles.
Yeah, Trace giving you the run around, something shocking here it seems. But Mercy's good for one and Ryan went up high ground and cleared as well, so that's all good. This position... Now you've like heard somebody use an ult in main, like you've heard the Emre use ult in main. If you hear a teammate use an ultimate like that, like you hear a Visor, you hear an Overclock, you hear an Emre ult, always give them a peep, you know? Like who knows like what health situation they're in, whether they need help. But like that's another thing about torpedoes that can be really valuable because there's like a heal over time component to it. Like you see someone like this ulting in the sky, going for something aggressive, you can just go for your torpedoes defensively on them. Give him like the top up heal. Like it's not super applicable here. Like he's got a mercy beam on him anyway. But you give this person the top up heal with the torpedoes, and then the heal over time will just keep ticking on them as they like go and take risk. But here for you, like it's all about your offensive value from the looks of it. Like you're just trying to push through main. You're trying to like get damage with your torps. And I mean, look, he actually died. Like this guy, like he swung really aggressively. He died, but he's the person that probably wants to get like the most pocket and the most resources here. It's fantastic if you can finish a kill. If you position well enough, you can do both at the same time. Because if instead of swinging out in front of him, you're a little higher up so you can get him on your screen and the enemy team on your screen from far away, then you can actually accomplish all goals at once, right? So like say you double jumped a little better and then you shifted and you're swinging out like here, you look forward, you see the Emre, you see the Ana in main, you see the Sigma in main, you do your lock on torpedoes, he gets healing and heal over time, they get damaged from long range, all's good in the world. But if you're just like rushing forward to get the torpedoes in front of the people that you really need to be pocketing, because like that's, Juno's still good for that, you'll get an outcome time like this, where maybe you're not going to lose the fight, maybe you're gonna get like a cuteness overload there as you take down the Sigma, but you know the guy that was ulting is just dead for basically nothing.
He just wasn't cute enough for the pocket, low key.
That's reasonable. I mean, his name's Trash Boat. Like that's not a very cute name. Yeah, Mercy's looking pretty cute right now. All right, you've taken the other perk that sucks as well, so you're 0 for 2 on perks. This perk right here, it's also like insanely bait. Like the maths on this perk, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's so fucking kappa. Like it really like negligible increase to your damage and healing. Like it sounds really good. It like looks really good when you're shooting. Like when it comes out, it sounds like, oh wow, this is a huge increase in my output, but it's not that substantial. And it's tied to something that you use when you're trying to escape from people. Often when you're using your shift on Juno, you don't use your shift very offensively on this hero. Sometimes you push out to get torpedoes, but you don't use your shift very offensively on this character. So getting that output increase doesn't do much for you. Getting triple jump on Juno, every woe that you've had up until this point, with getting up onto this ledge, getting up onto this ledge, wherever you may want to go, all of those troubles disappear when you have triple jump. Like once you have triple jump, you become so hard to kill for the enemy tracer because you can literally use the entire map 24/7 without ever using a cooldown. You can triple jump up to here in a flash. You can fly over every rooftop and literally shift from the skybox if you want to go for torpedoes when you want to aggress. Triple jump is so powerful, like so valuable. This faster blaster perk is bait.
I think my triple jump would be a double jump for every.
Look, if your triple jump achieves a double jump height, or maybe you'll press space 3 times, wind up here, and then press shift and hug your way up the wall. But you know, one step at a time. Love tends to, but the way is. For sure, going forward, you should start taking triple jump because like that perk will just make you so much squishier, and it's so much better with the fundamentals of how this kit works. Here, kiting back is good, torpedoes are good, trying to survive. There's a tracer behind you, so like you know you want to try and just lean away from her, which is what you've done. And then when you're in a moment like this, just try your best to get around the corner to try and like line of sight whoever's gonna be pushing you and take the safer angle. The one thing that I will say though is like, you know this tracer's behind you. You can also fight her a little bit. Like you're scared of the tracer. You're trying to take the avoidant approach. But if she's constantly shooting you from behind, shooting you from the side, you can always afford to fight her a little bit. So like right now, Tracer's recall has been used. Your torpedoes are out. You're trying to like kite away. Turn around and fight her a little bit, and you might just be able to kill her yourself. Like, I've seen you play Freya, you can aim. Like, you've got that in you. So here, you're taking, like, a very, very scared approach. But if you see a cooldown exchange happen, like, you know that you've actually got an advantage now. Like, you got her recall out, you can just kill the Tracer. There's an Emre behind you that none of us seem to be aware of, myself included. He was just the mystery man in the back. But for sure, like, you can just kill this Tracer. If you turned around and you started fighting the Tracer with the Emre, you would win this fight 1,000,000%. Because the only reason that you're not getting this kill is because you're too scared to even look at her. Like you're just trying to run away. But as soon as you get that advantage, right? Like as soon as you get her recall out, see her use that on your screen, you should be trying to see, like, is she stuck out in the open? Can I get a kill here? Can I run her down? Because instead you're like glued to main. You're always trying to pocket. Visor's coming out. At this stage, you just got to like run, you know, just like get around a corner, run away. But this Ducky character is like, this is what's actually killing you, right? Because even though this guy's visoring in main, you're too scared to get into line of sight of the Tracer. You're too scared to duel the Tracer, and you're just paralyzed in the mid ground for the entire fight. So I think for sure, like, a bit more confidence in terms of dueling flankers and such. Like, Juno's damage, especially now that you can headshot, is really not that bad at all. So it's not like it's a favored duel, because you can't heal yourself, but it's not terrible either. So if you get involved in that, all good. Here, these are illegal order of operations. Like on the first time, I'll accept the way that you used your ray and your torpedoes in terms of the order of it, because it was really clutch, you know, like you used your ray in response to a nano and the fight was really happening. But this time around, you do not need to use these torpedoes to get your ult. All you need to do to get your ult is to stick your beam up this guy's ass, or to stick your gun up this guy's ass, and just shoot him until you have the ray. And then once you have the ray, then you shift out into the open and use the torpedoes, right? You need to ray first, torpedo second. Because right now, this is a big volley of torpedoes, and you might win this fight because this guy just hit a fucking huge flat slam. Like my hands are in the air right now, trust me.
I'll be flats.
Yeah, the camera's not moving right now for a crazy reason. But anyway, here, like, if you wanted to retake with the ray, go ray first, and then torpedoes next. You're not even going to... Oh, you actually did use the ray. Okay, so it did happen as well. But 100% the order of operations is backwards here. Ray first, torpedoes second. These people would just be basically dead to your torpedoes if you use the ray first. And when you're swinging out and you're using like this big lock on, you need the extra healing and the extra survivability of the ray as well. Like, if we look at the moment, right now, what do they see? You are in front of everyone, like trying to get this lock on. It's a suicidal maneuver. So at least surround yourself with a big blue aura of like some light healing, because otherwise you are just gonna die doing this. So really try
I
and...
look pretty cute though doing that.
You do look pretty cute with
totally
your mythic gun and your I don't know what Sanrio character
this
this
skin
is.
is low-key annoying though. Like every time I bounce, it makes a little squeak, and I can't get over it.
You've got squeaky shoes. It's a spin. It's a riff on the latex Mercy. But yeah, for sure. Order of operations could do with some fixing here. And then yeah, even your Hanzo uses his gun just out of respect. So now we have one more fight, and you've got somebody. Is that Tracer behind you? Yeah, that Tracer behind you. Alright, just got like C9 or something. This position on high is good. This one, a little early, you know, like everyone's healthy, everyone's safe. You have a good high ground position. If your team gives up this high ground position, you're kind of just like stuck out in the open. So it'd be really nice if you could just hold up here and like swing them on this corner, but it feels like that's probably not what's about to happen. But yeah, here, you're ringing for this guy right now. You should, or not almost always, but you should definitely favor ringing your Reinhardt in these comps. Like, Ryan with speed will kill everyone. He will run down squishies and beat them to death with his big fuck-off hammer. Emre with speed will just, like, duck the shoulder a little faster and maybe die a little bit less frequently to the Tracer. So here, you see and hear people coming up top left. You see Orion walking towards that. You want to give this guy speed. You want to make sure that this guy is the one that can get aggressive. And then once you've done that, you can shift forward with him. Big torpedoes then, like instead of using it really early, like just for the healing when everyone is like really healthy and really okay. And then you get a bit of both. Like everyone starts taking damage because the fight's really happening. You get damage as well, just incidentally because people are peeking and people are fighting. And then you've done it all. Alright, you're in a position where you might be able to fight that Tracer. She's gone. Ryan has been taken from us, God rest his soul. Still like low-key winnable here. Again, situations like this, this is where like the defensive perk is pretty good as well, just because like, you know, you'll get like a fast volley of torpedoes out, and then you can go back to trying to do something aggressive. Okay, I think here like just a little bit overheated in terms of like how you're approaching it. Like when you want to do damage, you don't want to get into the habit of like throwing yourself into people. Like you still want to stay in like your effective range and around cover. Here, once you started to do damage and once you started to see that the enemy health bars are low as fuck, you're just like, I'm in there. I'm shifting into your face. Like I'm gonna get that melee range damage. But the reality is like from right here, from this corner, you can duck around and you can do so much more. From right here, you can shoot everything that's on the cart, and you can walk to the right and shoot everything that's hiding from you too. So like your Hanzo flanked around the side, he's done quite a lot with that. If you're like playing off his flank a little bit as well, so when you're pushing through main and the Sigma's hiding behind cart, you just, instead of like shifting on like up through main, if you just come like here with your Hanzo, there's like an Anna standing here, right? Just waiting to receive. And you're not going to be in line of sight of everyone. If you look at the difference from the enemy team's perspective, if you're here, no matter where you are on the enemy team, they can see you. If you're down here, they basically can't see you anywhere unless they're locking eyes with you. So try not to get too caught up in the throes of passion sometimes, because yeah, obviously it's not a game-losing mistake this time around, but these are habits that will lose you games. These are habits that will make you die early in the fight, and then you'll lose the ability to clutch. Oh my god, Blaster sounds funny on the fast forward. All right. It's all good, just chilling, staying in effective range. Again, like you see like a Tracer just like constantly ducking her head up here and being annoying. If you can try and sneak a little closer, start dueling her a little bit, it never goes astray. Don't like throw yourself into line of sight when the Kiri's peeking and all that too. Like what you're doing right now is okay, but if you know that there's a Tracer, remember that like you can zone out a Tracer. You can do damage that will force her to use some blinks, use some cooldowns, back away. Alright, now you have like an advantage on the soldier. At this point, it's like, you're healing, that's fine, but also shoot that fucking Tracer. Because like she doesn't have a healer, she's constantly peeking over and over and over again, she's going to be a problem to you, she's going to be a problem to other people. So try and zone her out. Don't always just completely rely on the DPS to do this stuff, because yeah, here, like, I mean, this Ryan's death is just illegal. I think it's just his fault. I mean, like, he has a shield, so he shouldn't be really dying here. But it feels like your team is a little bit paralyzed. Like, you have a really substantial advantage. You get this first kill. Now that you have a kill on their soldier, if you're like coming up here with the Emre, locking eyes with the Tracer, you should be fine. They don't have a hit scan to shoot you out of the air anymore. You can get a good angle. You can poke the Tracer back. You can heal your Ryan. You can do everything from up here now that the soldier's dead. So just take the strong position. Unfortunately, that guy doesn't know how to survive. Wants to die with full shield. But overall, like, this Tracer just being allowed to continually exist on this high ground, a bit lukewarm. Be careful with using your ring like really early out of spawn as well. Like, you use your ring for the Ryan when he was pinning out. And now when Ryan wants the ring, it's when he gets to like a close corner and he wants to swing around and start swinging his hammer. Not so much when he's pinning. Like, pin is his only mobility cooldown anyway. So he doesn't need to pin faster. He needs to run faster and swing faster. So try not to use your ring here when Ryan's pinning. Try to use it like here when he wants to actually like walk up on them or walk back from them. Now the soldier's back, so good luck with that Tracer on the high ground. It seems like you're definitely taking the approach with this Tracer that, like, if I don't see her, then she's not a problem. Because, like, you know that she's up here, and you're just, like, hiding underneath so she can't see you. But she's shooting your teammates, right? Like, she's giving your Mercy trouble. She keeps going again and again and again. You and the Emre can just jump up here together and just make it a little 2v1. Just shoot her in the face on the corner, you know? Like, get some heals from your Mercy. Just duel her out. And then, once this high ground is free for you, the whole map gets opened up a lot. This ring's good. Up for your Ryan. Again here, like, these are the spots where it's like, you really want to get in the habit of getting up onto these high grounds more comfortably. Like, jump to here, then jump over to here. So then you can just rest on high ground away from where most of the damage is coming. Most of these players on low ground, they're not going to be able to see you if you take like a balcony. Like, there'll always be a balcony that you can take. But because you're not really fighting for this space and you're just staying in main instead, all that's going to happen is you're going to be like this victim on the low ground that gets randomly hit by, like, you know, you got hit by like a Zen Orb down here. You're going to get hit by random Sigma poke down here as well. And then at the end of it all, their Tracer's going to come out and she's going to shoot you in the head. So try and take the high grounds whenever you can. Now that you're fighting the Tracer, the second you do that, this is good. You know, now we're... Oh, that's a little bit less good. But the idea of, like, coming up onto the high ground and forcing her out, getting her cooldowns out, is much better, you know? The second you came top, you and Emre forced the recall. The problem is that she's just never getting forced out, so she can maintain forever. There she is again. And you got to be a little careful with, like, how you're approaching the duel there, because if you take this wide angle to go face to face with her, she, like, you might be able to shoot her decently, but their soldier can shoot you. The way you're playing the fight right now is really okay, though. You're, like, big in the mid fight right now. Like, everything's going on. Like, ults are being exchanged, cooldowns are going big time. Like, you can throw your ring in here at any point and try and get up onto a high ground to keep fighting it, to keep pushing in. Like, you have Ray, you have ring. Try and get close. Try and get the Ray out through main. Especially, like, the Flux is gone, so you can't get countered by that. Here's you in main. Ray's out. Is good. Don't use your torpedoes when the Trank is out, unless you want to use it defensively. Save them for the end. Like, no point doing damage into a Trank when you can save it for when the Trank is ending. So there, like, you pushed up with your Ray. Just shoot, heal as much as you can. Like, your Ray has forced an ult exchange of the Trank. Take that, and then use your torpedoes afterwards to win the fight. Again here, like, careful with just, like, peeking on low ground, peeking on low ground. I'd believe it. Because, yeah, you're just on the ground. Like, you're just on the ground.
Rock to the face.
Yeah. When you're doing stuff like this again, like, a high ground peek is good for you, you know? Just come up top, and then when you're high ground, you have much more control, right? Like, you can just peek out, go for the torpedoes. If you start taking damage, you press A, you're around a corner, you know? Like, you're just chilling. But if you're running up through main to go for this stuff, just unnecessary. Like, super unnecessary. Maybe they don't touch anyway, so it's like, it's just, there are no consequences to your actions. Soldier's visoring, so again, like, you know, it'd be good if you can, like, get eyes on him, try and pocket him as much as you can. Tracer's fighting you, so, you know, it can happen. But, like, look at this guy. This guy, you know, he had you, like, dead to rights, and he still hasn't found the kill. Like, there's lots of opportunities for you to just try and fight this guy more. Like, second point, you would have killed that guy so easily if you just turned and fought him. If you didn't take the averse, the averse approach. Because when he's fighting you, I mean, you're hitting enough shots to live. Sometimes you might need a little bit of help from a hit scan or from one of your second supports or whatever, but you must do the basic steps, which is to pressure her as much as you possibly can. Because if you don't shoot at her, it doesn't mean she's not going to shoot at you. So you have to constantly try and pressure the biggest threat to you. And Tracer, like 100%, these flankers in general, like these are your target. If you have to choose between like, you know, 20 damage on a Tracer, 40 damage on a Tracer versus like 70 damage on a tank, you should take the damage on the Tracer because the Tracer's going to kill you. The tank is not.
Yeah.
Addicted to shifting on the like the base layer of you gotta like you gotta break that habit, you know, like don't use your shift on the ground for no reason. Here, like, you use the shift for the speed boost, but again, like, try and dial in on, like, the purpose of your shift, right? Because, like, if you shift and you're, like, up on top, then you're gonna, like, hit your head and not gonna be able to get through stuff. So if you're, like, jumping and then you're using your shift in the middle of it, like, you need to manage when you're using the shift on this hero based on your height. Because if you shift when you're too high or you're too low, then, like, it's a long cooldown. Like, you're gonna get stuck in awkward positions all the time. Here, you're, like, nicely advantaged. You can keep pushing. You know there's, like, something on the high ground to your right, but maybe not going to be a big deal because yeah, you can just cuteness overload it. But if you know that there's something top right like this, be really cautious around swinging forward in the way that you did. Because here, you push forward, you get the kill on the Zen, but if let's just watch this from the Kiri's perspective, like it's a death and a half right now. Because here, the Kiri kind of has the invisibility cloak on, but like from your POV, you see your Zarya pushing main, you hear all of these shots coming out on the right. If you want to get the torpedoes, you want to do it from like far back so that you can hit everything. Like you can poke these people on the right, you can get people in main with defensive, and you just want to shoot at these people on top right because they're the actual threat to you. People running away from you in main, hiding around a corner, they're not a threat to you at all. But people up here, this is like the power position at the point where if you don't clear this, they get a trade. Obviously, not going to happen here. You're probably just going to win here and now. But yeah, for sure, you should try and clear the dangerous space, the things that can actually kill you and can kill your team in the mid fight rather than just tunneling in on like, you know, your tank probably wants to just shoot the enemy tank, just walk on the enemy backline like whenever they see it as appropriate. But you can recognize like what is, you know, maybe the biggest threat to you and go from there. So I think the biggest feedback for you on Juno, 100%, like it's not so much cooldown, it's more positional. You need to like try and get used to using all of the high ground like a million times more because the hero can fly up on all of these different high grounds without using shift. And then when you're using your shift, make sure that you're using it at the correct height to escape one of these high grounds rather than just like kind of panic spamming it on low ground because then you're just stuck on low ground with a marginally higher move speed, which isn't super worthwhile in the scheme of things. Make sure that your order of operations is right for your ray and your torpedoes because, you know, once you can allow it, right, you shouldn't hold onto the ray uselessly when, you know, like, just to wait for torpedoes. But if you have the luxury of having both of them available, you should always use the ray before the torpedoes because the torpedoes will do massive damage. And change both of your perk selections. Just use the exact opposite of what you've been doing, and you'll be fine. Because triple jump is way stronger, and the 35% ally lock on is also way stronger. Like you're gonna carry way more fights quietly by getting the 35% faster lock on than you are with the reduced cooldown. Because torpedoes are something that's opportunistic by nature anyway. You don't use it the second it comes off cooldown again and again and again. You use it when it's convenient and when it's important. So 100% that 35% perk is better. Just allows you to have more uptime, more output.
I agree because this first round so hard.
Yeah.
It was a rough go first point. I don't know, my biggest issues like Kiri is probably the same thing, like the cooldown. I think Suzu is like that big one, you know, that probably most Kiri struggle with. Like, and yeah, pretty much that. Like, I have this really bad habit of just TP Suzu and then be vulnerable for like
it's like you'll see someone in trouble, you like TP Suzu onto them and just die. Like,
yeah,
it's like the crutch. Okay, so the way Kiri works, like, you want to walk as wide as you can without getting in trouble. So like here, very first fight, you have a Mercy just kind of like chilling back at main. For you, you can come over to like here. And if you come here and you can see your ram and you can see the enemy, you just want to take as aggressive of a position as you can at all times while having line of sight to heal your tank. Sometimes it changes a little, like if you have two people that are like main healers, I suppose, like two healers that have like lots and lots of healing that they can output, then maybe you can get like a little more flanky. But generally speaking for you, the rule on Kiri is that you want to try and get an angle to do some damage while still being able to heal your tank. So here, if you're back of main, it's a crappy angle to do damage because it's all just like really front to back, you know? But I mean, you've had like some hit scan feedback before. you know that like these little like 45-degree off angles are really valuable. And Kiri kind of thrives in those too. You just have an additional qualifier that you need to still be able to see your tank. You need to still be able to see your teammates. So what may be a good angle for the hit scan sometimes won't be a good angle for Kiri because you can't see your own team as much anymore. Anyway, here in the first fight, like if you wanted to have like more of a position to carry, getting an angle to see your tank from cover and see the enemy team from cover, like it would, you know, just strafe in and out to see the enemy team from cover, would be a good start. So instead of starting at the back, just coming further forward over to here, and then you can start poking, doing some damage, shooting people on this corner, and it's just a different angle to the rest of your team. But instead, you're kind of like playing very safe and very passive, and then when you want to come out, like say your ram starts fucking around on the point and taking damage, you're going to wind up in that situation that you just described to me, where because from here, you actually can't see your tank on the point, and from here, you have like a really limited option as to where you can see him. Like he has to be in this perfect line for it to happen. He's going to get in trouble, and then you're going to TP onto him and Suzu and die, or get stuck down on the low ground. So you need to constantly be putting yourself in a position where you can see the tank, you can help the tank. Here, like you've made the diva, you can use her shift or whatever. I mean, you're just fighting her and winning it, so maybe she's got no gun. Low key.
Yeah, fumble.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay. Well, Suzu your toes. For this one, for sure, this is a war crime. We don't have to talk too much about Suzu usage here, but overall, like if a diva shifts on you, if you feel like she's got no gun and you can just, you know, kill her without her shooting back, that's all well and good. Do that for sure. But if a diva shifts on you, you can often just TP to like the other side, right? Because eventually a diva shifting on you will spell your death if you don't TP away. So, because she can outplay like everything that you do. Maybe that diva specifically cannot, but diva has like outplay potential because she can eat your Suzu and she can like one-shot you basically. So, for sure, like if a diva shifts on you, try and TP to the other side of the fight when you can, unless you have, you know, determined that the diva has no hands and can't do any damage, as it seems that one did. Now you've won your first fight, so you can afford to get more aggressive. Like where you're at right now, it's really far away, it's really safe, but like your character does damage. So if you want to like walk up a little bit, do some poking, you know, like poke on the same side as the ram if you're scared of getting headshot by a Hanzo, poke on the opposite side of the ram if you're not scared, and then just walk back or TP back as the fight is actually starting. That's all well and good. Because if you start at the back, you're not going to do anything carry, right? Like now, because you're so far away, Ram doesn't get any healing from you for a long time because your cards have to travel like, you know, an entire fucking continent in order to get to him. And then you're using your Suzu early because you can't really see what's happening in the fight. Like you don't have good information. You don't have good knowledge of what's happening. If you're closer, not only do you have an angle to do some damage, to pressure the enemy team, to heal faster, you also know what's happening because you're there. If you're all the way over here, it's like, oh, I guess something's happening behind that wall, but I don't really know. So make sure between fights that you're not playing too far away and too safe. Because again, your character is like a high damage hero. Oh, mercy. Alright. Now where you're at is fine. Diva kind of commits onto your soldier, and there's nothing you can do about that. Okay, so like in terms of like what could you have done better here in order to carry? Like it really does break down from the start of the fight, because when you start to play your life, when you start backing up down here, all is good, right? Like every volley of cards that you're sending is doing a full heal onto someone. Like you're full healing the Mercy repeatedly, you're full healing the Ram repeatedly, your Suzu hits him and keeps him alive and keeps him punching for longer. The problem is, at the beginning of the fight, you dealt no damage. You lost heaps of your own resources. Like you had to use your Suzu for basically nothing at the start of the fight. You didn't get any healing done on the Ram at the start of the fight, and you never had a good position to do damage. The thing about Overwatch is that you can't heal through damage. Like, because of the 30% heal cut passive, if someone is constantly dealing damage to your tank, and you are constantly healing your tank, unless your tank has, like, you know, block from Ram or something like that during their form, like, everyone's health bars just slowly go down, right? You can't out-heal damage. So you need to consider that when you're playing Kiri as well and think like, I want to deal some damage, right? I want to at least weave in a little bit of damage here and there. I want to do some damage in the pre-fight and the early fight to make sure that the enemy team feels lots of pressure. Anywhere they want to walk, they're thinking, ah, shit, I'm taking too much damage, I have to hide again. Or they just walk out and die. But instead, because you're not really doing any damage at the start, you're not applying any pressure, it's just your team taking the damage, which means the enemy team gets to keep walking. What comes next?
Well, that was uncalled for.
Here, walking up on the right is good. Dealt some damage, got a kill. I'm pleased. okay, like when you're here, swinging out onto the high ground is all good. Low ground is also like really fine if you want to keep widening your angle. Like you get a kill, you can drop down to bottom right. You can control what you're peeking from like this and this. So like people from the right can't see you or people from the left can't see you. And you can see what's happening on the point. Coming up top left and trying to swing around is all fine as well. It's just a big long cross out in the open. And anytime that you're up top and your tank is below, there is always that like additional difficulty of you need to make sure that you have line of sight of him. And sometimes that can be a little difficult when you're up top. So just be mindful of that. Like if you're using the high ground space, you can get a really good angle to carry. Like you can swing up here and you can shoot their Hanzo on the side of the head. You can shoot their Mercy, but it might cut your line of sight a little bit too.
Heroes never die. Helden sterben nicht. Alright. Let the Kitsune guide you.
Okay, so I think what you've done here in terms of coming up onto the high ground into the open space, swinging, trying to deal some damage, it's good, but it's also, you need to understand when things are and aren't necessary. Like, you got a pre-fight pick really early on in the fight. So if you get a pre-fight pick, you're already 5v4. It's really best if you can like put resources into your team just like pressing an advantage. Here, because you came up top and you swung around and you didn't heal your tank for a while and you didn't do damage for a while and you really like, you didn't start doing damage until you'd walk to here. Like you basically went on the long walk, right? Like you came all the way around, all the way around, all the way around, and you started shooting here. All of the time it took for you to get here, the fight was already happening. You were already 5v4. If you're in like a pre-fight situation and nothing's happening and everyone is chilling, you should always go for a long walk. You can take your time setting up when you're in the pre-fight. But when the fight's actually on, every decision you make has a consequence. There is a lot of time that you are burning off the clock by not doing damage, by not healing very much throughout the fight. So because you were 5v4, I think getting down to here, healing the tank a little bit, poking up, you know, from a weaker angle is actually worth more because every second you spend rotating is time spent not healing, not dealing damage. If you went up with your Tracer at the same time on the high ground, if you're able to keep pressing it, you can kind of like wipe their whole background, you can make something work. But overall, you just need to be very aware of the consequences of you going for a walk. The consequences of you going for any rotation that takes you out of the fight. So try and pick the shortest path. And then here, you're very tunneled on trying to kill this Mercy, I think. Like, the Mercy will come and go. Like, she eventually dies to a Hanzo headshot, so, like, what you did didn't make a whole lot of difference. But, again, if you chase someone that's, like, really squishy all around, think about all the time that you spent not healing and not dealing damage to other stuff on the point. You're having this big, long 50-50 fight on the point. You can just be like, pocket the ram, shoot some damage, pocket the ram, shoot some damage. If you see a Mercy low and you start going, I'm chasing you, 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 like, the ram has not received pocket in a long time. The ram has to spend more time standing around and blocking and not helping anyone. Your DPS have to play a lot more passive too. Like, support role fundamentally is an enabler, but I think just from what I've seen so far, it feels like maybe you're a little bit conflicted on like how this character goes because this character can do more damage. You're trying to do more damage in a way that's actually just, it's like leading you to forget about healing. You know, like look at your healing numbers right now. You actually have more damage than you have healing. Like that's criminal, right? Like you can pocket and heal people so much, but because you understand that this character can kill, you're forgetting to heal.
Yeah, I said, I was taking the piss at this point.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I don't know, it's funny, like, on Juno, I think, you know, your problem is, like, you're kind of not fighting people enough, like, you're not fighting flankers and stuff like that. Your damage is fine on Juno overall, because, you know, you got, like, good torpedo value and whatnot, but on this character, on Kiri, you're just doing way too much damage at the expense of your healing. You're not helping anyone. Like, everyone's just getting forced out early. Here, like, don't use your Suzu for yourself. If you are safe, you know, like use a Suzu if someone pushes you, if someone comes to fight you. But if you're like half HP and you're here, you can just play passive and you can just heal from a safe angle and then Suzu during the fight still. Using the Suzu when nothing's actually on you and like you just took damage from peeking around a corner, that's no good. And again, like with what you're doing right now, you keep walking, you keep walking, you keep walking. There's been multiple opportunities for you to just settle in on a passive angle and heal for a bit. Like you're here and you Suzu'd yourself and went for a walk, you could see your tank. Like you were here, your tank was here. So like you could just stand here and just heal your tank in the back. Just be passive for a minute. You literally heal yourself by healing your tank now. Like you have a passive that does that, right? So just heal your tank a little bit from safety and you'll be topped off. Here, you were down on this side. heal your tank a little bit from down here, heal your tank a little bit from down here. You were down here, heal your tank a little bit from down here. But instead, you're like, I'm here, I'm coming here. I want a better angle to do damage. Like, fuck that, you know? Like, a little bit of pocketing, and then get an aggressive angle when it feels necessary. But definitely, like, super over-adjusted on this, because he's just not healing enough. Save the Suzu here, like you TP on, then you Suzu. Save the Suzu for when, like, the damage is coming, you know? Like, maybe the Genji dashes on you, and then you Suzu him afterwards. Dominant performance. And here, maybe you're scared about... Maybe the reason you're like staying on the point is because you're like scared about losing the cap because it's overtime. But like you've done the right thing here, like by not swinging out too wide, by not taking too much damage and like going too wide. Actually value. And then one thing, tank shooting on Kiri is like way weaker than shooting at the squishies. I know that the tank is an easier target and whatnot. And some tanks have like really easy head hitboxes, so you know, like it varies a little. Like versus Orisa, like you kind of just fucking Orisa because she has like a huge head, and you can fuck her on a lot of her walks. But D.Va is a terrible tank to tank shoot on Kiri. She's a terrible tank to tank shoot on Kiri. So if you have the option here for this one, get in the habit of throwing your Suzu like a football. You know, or I don't know why I say a football. That's not how anyone throws a football. It'd be a pretty limp-wristed throw. But here, like, there's no reason really, I think, to TP on. When you can just throw your Suzu, you know, like you see him ulting from over there, just throw the Suzu at him, and then you don't have to TP into the danger zone. I'm not sure if you're gonna get traded here because of this. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe not. But yeah, if you're mid range and you can see someone, you don't have to TP on for it. I get that you like maybe you don't want it to be eaten. You like want to make sure that you really hit it, but you can't carry the game from the death screen. And imagine like you TP'd on and the D.Va 8 was already eating, and then you just TP'd on, had your Suzu eaten, and you're on top of your Reaper that's also going to die. Then it's like it's a 2-for-1 special. Here it's last fight. Team's given up a lot of space for next to nothing here, where it's like you have this advantage, you have a nice situation at the beginning, you're forward, you're poking, that's all good, but you don't have to like TP behind, you know? Like you don't have to TP behind and like give up the whole map. You can just keep standing, poking. Here, you got the D.Va mech, that's all good. Here, like when you drop down to the point, this is probably the bad thing, right? Like your good angles, like when you're in control, are like, I'm gonna poke from here, I'm gonna poke from here, I'm gonna poke from here. So if you drop down to the low ground, and the enemy team is still retaking through these chokes, you just lost the ability to spam these chokes effectively. Now they get to walk up a lot more than they otherwise would. Kitsu on the point is fine. It's overtime. The enemy team has to touch. But yeah, your position is a little bit cooked just because like you have all the control. Your team is actually in a good spot and you just drop down to the low ground right away and you don't even try to choke them here on these chokes. Like if you stayed up top and your ram stayed up towards the staircase, then you could just push all of these people walking through the doorways instead of just like kind of all walking on the point and having this big slog on low ground. And then yeah, here, like you don't need to push into that for like any reason other than like an absolute emergency, right? Like if there's a big fight happening inside there that you need to get involved in, that's cool. But you can also just avoid the sanctuary, right? Like your ram, he took the hint. He started running at the Mizuki outside of the sanctuary instead. Like if you TP forward to the ram, or if you just stay over on the side and pocket people that are outside, like your team's still holding down the fort, But here, because it's just you running into this circle, you just kill yourself for no reason, really. Like the fight was really going okay, but because you've dropped down to the low ground for like, you know, no reason in the final fight, it's just like the 99 to 99 blues where everyone starts standing around the point for no reason. You haven't taken a good angle to poke before the fight, and then you just rush onto the middle of the point, rush into the middle of the Mizuki ult as well. Ultimately, you can't carry anything if you give up a strong position. So starting from up here, probably starting from like, I mean, you were like here, right? So you could just poke, and then walk back a little bit and go to here and poke over here on the side, or poke over here on the side, instead of dropping down to low ground. Because from low ground, it's just the weakest position. The enemy team gets to walk out the choke, shoot one random arrow that hits you in the head on the low ground. And then, yeah, the round is over.
Before we get into this next round, all the taking the piss in this round has possessed me to actually use the bathroom in real life. So do you mind if I
Oh, go ahead.
do that real quick?
Yeah, no worries.
Alright, I'll be back really quick.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you'll continue to take the piss throughout the entire round in terms of like overdoing it with your flanking, but I mean, let's just look at the numbers, you know. I can, yeah, like you still have more damage than healing, which is like illegal for Kiriko. Like if you're playing like a double poke comp and it's like you have Illari and Kiriko or something, like just like two like big damage heroes and you have like a Sigma and everyone's just trying to like play double sniper or something, maybe it makes sense. But in this matchup, like you have a Mercy, so like Mercy's probably just gonna be like pocketing one player most of the time anyway, and you have a Ram, which is a hero that needs heaps of healing and heaps of resources. It is absolutely illegal for you to have more healing than damage. Like you think about like the big OWCS matches where the Kiriko's like they'll finish a 5-round Saravasa with 25,000 healing. Like you can heal so much in these matchups. Like you can keep everyone alive. But right now, way too much emphasis on the damage. Here, angle's okay, but you don't need to take, again, you don't need to take the passive version of this. As long as you have vision of your tank, you can always swing wider, right? So like instead of standing here, just keep coming down to here. And then suddenly you can poke up through main a little bit. You can shoot the people on the high ground. Like you can take an angle to do damage without losing line of sight of your tank. But if you're here, you just see fucking nothing, you know? Like as soon as you realize they're all on the right, if you're here, there's just nothing to be shot at. There's nothing to be seen. So you need to make sure that you can get the most aggressive angle you can without sacrificing your ability to heal and do damage. Genji behind. Maybe you'll just deal with him. Okay. I think here, like, you start feeling the pressure from the D.Va behind you and you just sort of like TP on the spot. You've really got to avoid that in terms of making a decision to TP because you're scared rather than because something has actually happened to you. Like if a Genji dashes on you, if a D.Va shifts on you, then you TP. But when you do what you just did there, it invites somebody to actually use their shift on you. Like, that D.Va could still have had shift because you never looked at her and fought her and saw that she was actually shifting on you. The Genji, he also got punched out, but you know, like, you need to react to their shift keys or them actually being on top of you rather than just like knowing that they're there and being afraid. Because if you shift early, then they will shift after you. Very dangerous. This is good. Like you're coming forward and you're poking with the tank, getting some heals out on the tank as well. Also, when you were chasing the Genji back there, it's a little bit of like an overcompensation at some point where like, I mean, just to try and hammer the home point about the healing, like, look at what happened to your Ram when you were chasing this Genji. It's like Genji's behind, you got some poke, like, look, all the fucking three stooges are chasing this Genji now. Like, there's 4 people chasing the Genji. Like, look at your Ram. Like, he could do with some 10 to 11k right now. He actually got heals pretty quickly after he took that headshot, but yeah. Just overall, you do so much healing with every burst of cards. I think it's like 120 with every burst or something, so. Here, this is where like the action is happening on the right. Kind of exactly the same as how you lost the first round, where you're picking a position that's really far away. Your heals have travel time. Your heals have to go through the air. So if your Ram is up on the right, you want to be close enough to him to give him some heals, to give him some help. This is a little awkward where he's playing, like this staircase in particular, like the line of sight is crap, but you do want to be closer to him, right? Like say you came down here to this corner, you see him walking, you walk up with him through that side. But if you come far like this, you ain't doing shit, right? Like you're too far away to hit a Suzu, like it's going to have to fly through the air, or you're going to have to TP on. So this is basically exactly the same as what you're doing on the previous point where like your in control positioning is just too far away from where your tank is. Your tank wants to hold up. Your tank wants to do something aggro. If you're in Mozambique, nothing's going to happen. So here, you try to TP on, you try to Suzu. Now you have no TP, you have no Suzu, and you have a dead Reaper. Now that you're close, you're doing healing and your Ram is back to full, so maybe you can win again. Low key. Oh, you're getting further and further away again, so be careful. Because as you drift further and further away from the fight, again, like your healing becomes less clutch. And then you have to use your TP just to close the gap. So now if someone wanted to push you, they could. So yeah, definitely need some work on the spacing, because you're too far and then TPing to crotch it. Alright, that's just Dragon of the Day. Here as well, like, you know something's happening on the point, don't TP on this guy if you don't have your Suzu. Like, it's just like a random pick-me situation, you know? Like, you see this guy walking up, you can take like an off angle with him. He's shooting someone on the point from here. You shoot them from here, you have 2 angles, the guy dies. If you TP onto him, the enemy Hanzo, who has his bow notched back, just hits you in the head accidentally. And he's like, oh, cheers. I got a trade. I got my one. A lot of, like, a lot of like really panicky TPing from you, I feel, where you see somebody's in trouble, or you see that you're getting a little far away, or you know that there's someone close to you that you don't want to be close to, and you just TP. But you have to walk first and TP later. You have to TP in response to true duress. Here this is fine, you're close to the ram, you took some damage, you stop peeking. You're not too far away from the ram. You're actually close enough to like do some real damage here. Maybe it's because you nearly have your ult or something. Maybe that's why you're trying to play close. I'm not sure. Be a little careful about getting caught out in the open. You always want to be like anchored to a corner is the only thing. So it's like, you know, your ram's here, you want to be here. If you want to go back, come back this way so that you're not out in the open, so you're not stuck getting peeked by main. Because when you did this cross and you're like just walking through main, walking through main, walking through the open, if you're away from a corner, you're way more likely to die if you don't have like a shield or something up. So just try and backstep a little bit more comfortably, a little bit more safe, because yeah, the way that you did that was dangerous as fuck. And yeah, here again, like every time you swing up, every time you come forward, you're like out in the open. This is better, but you can't TP like this, you know? Like you're TPing on the spot. Like look how close this is. Maybe the D.Va won't catch you on this kill, but if you get shifted on the left, you need to TP further away. You need to TP to something that isn't right in front of you, because you just TP'd right here onto your Mercy, and that is like just not nearly far enough to actually get away from this D.Va. Your shift cooldown is long as fuck, you know? You still have 4 more seconds on your shift cooldown. Their D.Va shift cooldown is probably done by now. Like, yeah, like it's back. So there's like a 4-second window of opportunity for the D.Va to kill you now. So you need to make sure that you're shifting far away enough that that doesn't happen. So D.Va comes onto you here, and you're TPing over to like the ram side and Suzuing here and flipping the map around with him. Trying to get away from that threat. Kitsune rush straight away along the point as well. It's like you're at 99%. There's a big ult exchange happening. You're doing well to heal the ram, but yeah, make sure the ult comes out. It's pretty good, to be honest. It's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have more healing than damage now, I hope. Yeah, you see the difference that makes? That's that's a positive contributor to the outcome of your fights for sure. When you got a little bit more focus on healing rather than doing damage. Regrettably, the supports do have to heal. Awkward told me that all I needed to do was damage, but yeah, Awkward's...
I know, it's a 4-step kiri plan. Just take angle and shoot people. I watched that when I was in bronze.
I mean, look, he's not wrong about, you know, the fact that you need to kill the enemy team in order to win in Overwatch, but at the same time, like the support role, Loki needs to heal too. Like, I was watching an Australian streamer last night who's like champ on a bunch of roles, and like he gets into like a backrooms lobby, he's on like a GM account, and everyone else in the lobby is masters, and he plays Mercy, and he violently carries the game. He probably did like 200 damage in the whole game, but he mega carries the game the entire time. Because he's just good at support. Like he just heals everyone that needs healing all the time. And he's like in the middle of the fight getting shot at, but never dying. Like he has one death at the end of like a 4-round Saravasa or something. And just because people are always trying to kill him, but he keeps slipping away, resources keep getting burned on him, but he never dies. And then everyone gets all the healing that they need to constantly live through bad situations. Like 100% you can carry without doing much damage. I'm not trying to encourage you to never do damage. That's ridiculous. But it's really like it's a one-dimensional perspective of the game to be someone that says like you just must do all this damage all the time no matter what on every hero, because like if that was the case then Mercy pistoling would be good.
Yeah.
Which it is not. Alright, you're a bit unlucky with that guy. You know, the 2 picks. But here you just want to like try and space away, like you get stuck on this pillar. Still feels like really winnable though, to be honest. Like you've lived, even if you TP'd on the spot with the Reaper, which is that's a banned activity. Here, like you just kite to your next little corner or whatever, like just try and get over to like this corner instead. Or think about this point, we haven't talked about it yet because we haven't had like huge opportunities to. You don't need to walk around the corners on a point like this because you can climb over every wall. Like, I don't know if we're going to see you wall climb on this map, but like you can just get over here, you know? Like if you're in trouble, like just come over this and you're safe again. So really, like if you want to be slippery, like yeah, there you go. You wall climbed, all good. Like scissors like that, like actually fully banned, like they're completely banned. Like you're just not allowed to do that. If you're safe and there's nobody chasing you, like you're like 2 meters away from a mini, you know, like healing from a safe angle will heal you. You literally have a passive that does that now. But like, yeah, you're so close to this. He's just, you've met it in a very peaceful time in his life, I suppose. But yeah, like here, coming towards the Reaper to try and help him out, like forget about it. Like just stay on your safe corner rather than coming up to the danger pillar again, and don't fucking Suzu yourself when you're safe. Because if you're in cover, you don't need the Suzu. Suzu's for cleansing ults or saving people when they can't stop taking damage. But don't Suzu people in cover, including yourself. Better. You just need to dial in on like finding your safe angle to heal. Because here, like every time you're trying to like come out to heal, you're taking damage. So just try and find the safe angle to heal. You're on the right. You've done that. Like we can say that that's on him because like obviously he peeked out into main. But like he was in an awkward position, and the only way that that guy's gonna live is if he gets constant healing, you know, like constant help from you. So you had like a huge period of downtime here where it's like, oh, I'm coming out on the left, oh, I'm coming out on the right. This side, probably better for you to like, you know, do some poking, do some healing rather than like this center pillar is awkward to peek, right? Because your Ram wants to hold here or here. He wants to hold on the corners. From here, it's awkward to heal that, right? You have to swing out kind of wide and in everyone's line of sight. If you want to heal these corners, you can do that passively from like here. So these sides, they're a teensy bit further away, but it's better for seeing where your tank wants to hold. That's one thing about support that's like really important. Like really important about support is understanding like where is a good hold for my tank, because that will inform your position. This center pillar, it's good for like slipping away from people in the middle of the fight, but it's really bad for everything else because you have to be in an awkward angle in order to do your damage, and you can't climb anywhere meaningful. So because there's no wall climb angles for you, it's a little shit. And yeah, now here you're just hugging the wall. So yeah, those wide sides are definitely better for you because you get a better angle not only for your damage, but also for the healing component. Here, Ryan's getting fucked. Mercy's been taken. Don't Suzu yourself. Yeah, I mean, this fight's a little hard, to be honest. Maybe, like, when shit starts really breaking down. Like, you're about to have ult, you're about to have ult. It doesn't really feel like there's a good timing for you to match the Kitsune Rush because things have all happened a little bit too fast for you. You know, like Mercy's picked. Maybe you could save her with a Suzu, but that's not really like a coaching thing. That's sort of just like comfort on the hero. But here, like this, maybe you could Kitsu from this side. Like maybe from here to here, like you just run it across the point, or from here to here, and maybe your Ram can benefit from it. And maybe you can clutch that way, right? Because from here you can do big damage and big healing, and your Ram can do huge damage, and Reaper can do huge damage. But I don't know where Bastion is. Oh, Bastion's getting killed by their Ryan. So like maybe you can Kitsu across the point and clutch this one, but that's about it. I don't think that there's something that you've done that's like super fundamentally bad as to why you lost this fight. People are sort of just running and died really fast. So occasionally that will happen. Let's think about the next fight. It's like next fight, you have your Kitsu, they have Shatter, you need to Suzu that. You need to not get shattered. You need to Suzu that. Suzu, like you were talking about how you struggle with the Suzu, and I mean for sure, like I think you use it too early, like almost always. Like you're even like when you use the Suzu on your Reaper, like when he was here, what's the point of Suzuing someone that's in Wraith, you know? Like he's not taking damage anyway. You're not cleansing anything from him anyway. You'd be better off Suzuing him when he comes out of Wraith, because that's when he's going to take all of the damage. You need to make people immortal when they're taking damage, not when they're not taking damage. So like overall, your Suzus just come out like too early overall. And now here, this is where it becomes like really important, because it's like they have Bastion ult and they have Shatter. So like these are two things that you can explicitly cleanse with your Suzu. Fight begins. This is all good. This, again, like the damage has come and gone, you know? Like there's no need to Suzu because he's already taken the damage and lived. He's already getting the pocket. And then here, if you have a choice between Kitsune rushing from here or Kitsune rushing from here, you always want to cover as much of the point as you can. You still have to be careful with the shatter here. You're probably not aware that this shatter is coming, to be honest. But like from here, this is too far back. If the enemy team is holding you up really close, it's fine. But you don't see anything. You don't see anyone. If you Kitsu here and it goes all the way across the point, your whole team can run it up on them on the point. By the time your Ram starts punching, he's going to be out of your Kitsune rush. Like here, look at where your rush is. Look at where your Ram is. Look at where your Reaper is. Like there's a mismatch. And Kitsune rush, you can have basic rules around this. You can just have simple rules with the Kitsu where if it covers the objective on Koth, on Flashpoint, people can run through it and just fight and take the point that way. But this way, because it's too far behind, not everyone gets to benefit from it anymore. Your Ram, he's no longer getting that shit. and you're shattered. This, again, like, you just want to be trying to, like, position towards a corner, close up on a wall. Maybe you can reaction climb. Maybe you can just strafe a little bit to the left and dodge it. Something like that. But, yeah, pushing up in this matchup, a little deadly. You heal yourself decently with the passive. And maybe it just works out anyway, to be honest. Yeah, just works out anyway. Alright, next fight. You're doing what, you know, is pretty typical, I think, where you're playing that a little bit too far back. It's like, they're coming from here, you know? They're coming from here. So take an angle to shoot them as they walk, you know? Come stand here. Poke them a bit. Poke them a bit. Get somewhere where you can heal and do some damage. Like, fucking Mercy's got it figured out, apparently. But yeah, for you, like, you have no fall off. Take a good angle to shoot. Like, if you're here, you can't shoot shit. So come down here, poke them on the walk up through main. Come down here, poke them on the walk up through main. I'd say the right side's better. Like, this side is for sure better. Like, you have a DPS over here that you can help a little bit. You can actually, like, if you poke from here and they start walking on you, like, you can make an opportunity for him, right? Like, they walk on you, they don't check him, he kills them. But here, like, you just have better options to kite back safely. Whereas over here, these are a little more shit. Like, this angle is weaker to shoot them in main. And when you're climbing up here, you don't really want to be up here. Whereas over here, you can, like, slip back and forth off the point. So right side's probably better for you. But yeah. Middle of point? No way. No way. Right now, just like no damage at all. Like you're not poking anyone as they walk, so their walk is free. You TP side to side. You don't have any critical information about this bastion. Good Suzu. That's Suzu of the day right there. Oh. Yeah, there. That was a little dodgy, you know? Sometimes you just gotta cut your losses. Like, if you're in a bad position, like, this objectively is a bad position. Like, you have a Sigma, you're gonna take huge damage. Like, everyone can just plow you in this little doorway, basically. So, like, if you come here, you're in a terrible position. And then you started walking in front of 5 players to try and save your RAM. Like, sometimes, some people are just too far gone. Like, he wasn't too far gone, but you didn't heal him once, because the Sigma shield blocked everything. So for you, you are number one, you know? Like, you are the person that can't die. You need to keep yourself alive above everything else. Don't kill yourself trying to save someone else. So don't walk into a bunch of players' line of sight in the attempt to clutch by getting the heals off. Remember, you can't heal off damage in Overwatch, right? So, like, if you must heal all the time because you need to slow the rate at which someone dies. But if someone looks like they're about to die and you don't have Suzu, you can't heal that off, right? You can't get into a clutch position to get the clutch healing. You need to just be in a clutch position to do some damage and get some healing weaved into the middle of it and not die. So what you did there was, like, very close to disaster. Another good Suzu. We've got 2 Suzus of the day now. And here, like, you sort of just, like, drift away from the cover. I think the problem with this whole fight, like, all the way through, start to finish, is that you just never had a good position cover-wise. Like, you started here and you didn't have a good angle to poke them, and then you're stuck around this center pillar 24/7, 24/7. Like, you can't break line of sight of anyone. If you started on the right and then worked your way around here, here, and then as the fight starts happening, as they start pushing forward, you come back to these corners again, then you would always have this degree of separation. You would always be far enough away that you don't just get, like, randomly one-bopped or randomly, like, peeked around this center pillar. Like, this center pillar is what your Bastion is using. This center pillar is what your Ram should be using. But for you, you want to be 1 block back. This isn't Mozambique if the fight is happening on the point. This is only Mozambique if they're, like, you know, down here, right? So you want to be just close enough that you can keep getting damage, getting healing, but far enough away that you don't die in the way that you just did, where it's like anything that they do just randomly pokes you, randomly chips you, and you never regen. Alright, here we are. 1, 2, 3. Don't do it. Oh my god, I could taste the Suzu coming out there. Okay, I was actually tasting nothing. I might be having a stroke. I might be having a stroke. You did so much good. Like here, you come down, you heal your Ram, you get a good angle to do some damage. Just stand on the damn corner. Just use the damn corner and everything will be fine. But, like, instead, no Suzu, whatever, you know, like a little slow. You'll catch up next time. But the real thing that you need to fix is, like you need to use the damn corner. Like, you need to jiggle peek and peek, shoot, peek, shoot, peek, shoot. Don't stand in the open and shoot, 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 shoot. You know, like, you need to be ducking in and out of cover so that if you start taking damage, you have the option to stop. Because your Suzu shouldn't be your option to stop. Your Suzu is your emergency measure. Your Suzu is when you can't stop taking damage. But, hey, your really close to this fucking pillar. Like, you have the option right now. Exercise it. Get rezzed, slay. Flux is out. This is hard. Okay, here. This Suzu, it's not useless, right? But like, there's a timing here. It's fucking hard, right? Like, it's really hard for you to do this. I'm not saying that you should like be able to do it. But you should try. Like, you want to Suzu right before they hit the ground, or Suzu them in the air. Because if you Suzu right before they hit the ground, it like splashes onto them, and they don't take the damage. If you Suzu them in the air, they also will not take the damage if you time it right. It's a fucking hard timing. So maybe it's a little bit advanced, to be honest. Maybe it's like an unreasonable ask.
I'm usually good for that, but
Yeah.
lately it's been.
I mean, it's really hard. Like, it's just really, really hard. Here, now you're up. Walking forward is all good. Poking them towards their spawn. Bang down a Kitsune Rush, call it a day. You've won the game anyway, so it's all good. But I do think, Kirika, when you stopped just damage botting like you were in the first round, when you started healing, that was okay. But there's like general fundamental principles that you're missing in these between fight moments where it's like you are not taking an angle to poke them as they walk. You are taking an angle to do fucking nothing as they walk. You can't heal effectively and you can't damage effectively as the enemy team is actually walking up. You need to recognize that there are multiple stages to the fight. There's a time where they're far away and you can just poke them with no fall off, free of charge. And then there's a time when the fight is actually happening where you need to have options to escape and options to heal safely. You don't just want to be in the most aggressive angle possible. Like, if the fight is starting and you are here and your tank is here, let's get a scene where your tank is there so I can actually like illustrate it. Mission failed. All right, we'll just go empty. If the fight is starting and your tank is here and you are over here, you can do great damage and you can duck around the corner and heal your tank too from safety, right? From this corner, you can do it from safety. From this corner, you can do it from safety, especially from this corner. But from here, you have to peek the enemy team as they're standing in main in order to heal. That is a no-go. That is a non-starter for Kiriko. You don't want to have to peek the enemy in order to heal. You want to peek the enemy when you want to, when you want to deal the damage, but you must be able to heal all the time. And this has been infecting your gameplay. It has been plaguing your gameplay everywhere you go on Kiriko. Anywhere you walk, I constantly see you having to take this trade-off. In order to heal, you also have to take damage. But that's not how it should be. That's not how it goes. You need to master cutting angles. You're doing it well enough on Juno, but it's still that same issue. I see the same issue on the Juno where like you don't use the high grounds. You don't cut the hit scan angle as well as you could. You could be jumping up at like, this is about high ground. This is just trying to example for the Rialto. Like, you could be up on a high ground, healing someone in main really safely, and then nobody on their team in main could see you at all. But you rarely do that, and you really need to master that skill. It's going to keep you alive way more. The other big problem that you have is like your TPs, stop rushing them. Like, stop TPing to the first thing that you see. TP to the furthest thing away from you, not the first thing that you see. Because if you TP to the first thing that you see, they're probably close to you anyway. That's probably why you were looking at them. So stop doing that. And then the Suzus, like, they have to come out later. Except for that one down here where it didn't come out at all. But the Suzus, like, don't Suzu people that are immortal. Like, don't Suzu a Reaper when he's still in Wraith. Don't Suzu someone that is healthy and already safe. Don't Suzu someone that has taken the damage already and is hiding and waiting for you to top them up. Because if they are not taking damage, they don't need the ability that makes you stop taking damage. And if you fix that shit, I mean, oh, and Kitsune Rush, make sure that it goes across the objective rather than being from behind. Sometimes that can be a little difficult depending on where the fight's happening, but like, if you have the luxury of choice between one that's far away and one that covers the point, always cover the point, because then you can walk across the whole point and push into the enemy team. And yeah, that's pretty much all of it, man.